Hello there, Star Wars fans. Today I am back to talk about my top 5 Darth Vader scenes in Star Wars. Okay, so let's get into this. Let's use the dark side of the Force and explore the top 5 scenes of the Dark Lord of the Sith. Okay, so at 5, I would put the Empire Strikes Back scene where Vader says, I am your father, and the Imperial March plays after, and Luke screams no because that scene is amazing. I really enjoy how Darth Vader reveals his identity, his true identity to Luke Skywalker, and it's just a mind-blowing situation for Luke because he doesn't know this, and it's surprising, and he thought that his father was dead, and he thought that Darth Vader killed him, so he views him as someone who killed his father. Then actually seeing him in a little bit more human way after he recognizes that it was his father, and later he fully recognizes it when Yoda tells him and Obi-Wan tells him the story behind it and how it was a different point of view. But that scene is absolutely amazing, and it kind of like shows a different side to Vader and sort of humanizes him in a way. And I really like how Vader reaches out his hand and like asks him to join him and sort of alludes to the situation where Luke could be his Sith apprentice and Darth Vader and Luke could both be Dark Lords of the Sith and take over the galaxy. So I really like that. Obviously that didn't happen, but it's cool to think maybe in a what if scenario, maybe it did happen. But yeah, the fourth scene, that's my favorite. I would say is that scene in Revenge of the Sith where Anakin's burning and Kenobi's like telling him like you were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them, and say you were the chosen one, because it shows how tragic his fall is to Anakin Skywalker, and it shows like he had so much potential to do the right thing and destroy the Sith, but instead he's strengthening them. And just to see the sorrow in the pain and the burning of Anakin and how upset and sad he was and how he said that he hated Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan said that he loved him because he truly did and Anakin did, and so it's so sad because they were just like brothers, and to see this big fallout is extremely tragic. And the music in the background, the immolation scene music, absolutely beautiful. So okay, the third scene I would say is another scene from Revenge of the Sith where Anakin and Obi-Wan are having like a talk, and Obi-Wan's like, you've allowed this dark lord to twist your mind until now you've become the very thing you swore to destroy. Don't lecture me, Obi-Wan. I see through the lies of the Jedi. That scene is so brilliant because like they're like conversing, or like Obi-Wan's trying to explain to him that Palpatine's evil and that he's truly lost his way and truly gone to the dark side, and Anakin's sort of been brainwashed by Palpatine, and he's coming through this with this like dogmatic like sort of view, and he's not really like thinking for himself, and it's sort of showing that he's going to go to the dark side, and Palpatine's really just like manipulated him, and this is the old Anakin's gone, and this is really a different side of Anakin here. So I really like that. It's a different side of Anakin. It's Darth Vader, and it's tragic. It's extremely tragic to see them get ready to fight. And that scene when they start clashing their lightsabers together, when Obi-Wan's like, only a Sith deals in absolutes, and Anakin's like, I will do what I must. And, sorry, Obi-Wan says, I will do what I must. And then Anakin says, you try. Beautiful. But the next scene that I would say is my favorite, the second favorite scene, is this scene that always makes me tear up when Darth Vader and Luke are having a conversation at the end of Return of the Jedi before he dies, and Darth Vader requests him to take his mask off. He says, let me look at my son. with my own eyes, and he takes his mask off and the Imperial March plays, but with like a somberness to it. There's like a somberness to the music, and it's so tragic seeing Vader in pain and seeing that he was just a man who was depressed and sad underneath the big mask, the big like outward persona that he put on as Darth Vader. He's just a man hurting inside, and he's still like he's still holding the damage in his body from all the burns that he had many years ago, and the sadness in his eyes. And he's like, "Tell your sister you're alright about me. You're alright," because really, it was a real struggle to get Darth Vader to turn back to life. But the fact that Luke did it, it makes it seem like a miracle. And even Darth Vader himself is surprised, and it really humanizes him. One of the best endings in fiction ever. But my top favorite scene, and I think we all know what one I'm gonna pick, is the scene from Rogue One. Absolutely magnificent when Darth Vader pops out at the end, doesn't speak in the hallway, and just slaughters the rebels. Absolutely deletes the rebels on that ship in Rogue One at the end. Brutal. Amazing music, amazing every like visuals. The lightsaber movements are beautiful, and it's like a New Hope. The scene like sort of leads into a New Hope right after, but the area looks like the beginning of New Hope. So it's sort of like a remastered version of the old one with like updated like visuals and everything. And Darth Vader looks so realistic, and oh my goodness, and the music is goosebumps, and Darth Vader like is sort of turning off his life support to make the hallway dark, and then turning on his lightsaber in the middle of the hallway, and the whole atmosphere turns red, and seeing the fear in the rebels in their voices, hearing the fear, and seeing that fear and anxiety and panic in their eyes, and how the rebel like gave the Death Star plans to the other rebel before before Darth Vader caught up to him. Amazing. And then when Darth Vader steps out with all the stormtroopers behind him, with the Imperial March before Leia is shown on screen, absolutely amazing. One of the best scenes in fiction also. But yeah, that's my favorite Darth Vader scene, and those are one of my favorite top 5 Darth Vader scenes. So yeah, may the force be with you.